Hello and welcome back to the Huron-Clinton Metroparks virtual soil series. My name is Josh and I'm really excited to get the chance to talk with you all again. In this video, we're going to break down the ingredient list from that soil soup recipe we worked with last time. And we're going to talk specifically about the abiotic ingredients in that recipe. These are the things that aren't alive and never were alive, like the rocks, the water, and the air. And while air is all around us in the atmosphere, in Michigan, when we talk about rocks and water, we're really talking about the glaciers. Glaciers were giant sheets of ice that were up to a mile thick that used to cover the whole state. And when the glaciers moved around, they ground up and broke lots of rocks and smaller minerals and pieces of sediment that were already here. When those things got broken into smaller and smaller pieces, we call that weathering. And when the glaciers moved, they also pushed these things around and moved them away from their original location. The process of moving these weathered pieces of rock and mineral is called erosion. And what we're going to do is we're going to model how this works using just a couple of rocks. You're going to want some rocks that are about the size of your palm, big enough that you can grab them, but small enough that you can hold each one in one hand. The way this activity works is we're going to take both of these rocks and we're going to scrape them together. We're going to pretend that we're the glacier and we're pushing these things around, crushing them with the weight of all of the ice that we are made of, but also making them grind against each other. And we're going to do this for about 2 minutes. So go ahead, pause the video and scrape your rocks together for 2 minutes and then check in with me once you're done with that. Okay, we've been weathering our rocks for 2 minutes now, and you can see the difference actually. See these gray spots on the surfaces of the rock that we rubbed together? These are the sediment that we've broken down into smaller pieces off of the rock that we started with. And what we can do to see erosion in action is we actually take this surface and we're just going to rub it on something that's a different color. You can see it left a mark, and we'll do it again. When you look at Michigan's landscape, you can actually see traces of the glaciers that were left behind. It's not that different from following a set of footprints left by an animal, really. A lot of the defining features of Michigan's landscape, like our rolling hills, our valleys, the small lakes and ponds and fresh water everywhere, even the sand dunes and the Great Lakes, are all left behind by the weathering and erosion that the glaciers did thousands of years ago. In our next video, we'll talk about the rest of the ingredients in our soil soup and how they get to be where they are. But until then, I have a couple questions that I'd like to leave you guys with to think or talk about. Do you think that weathering and erosion from glaciers is the source of rocks and water in soil all over the world? How do you know? And if you don't think it is, what do you think are some of the events that could cause rocks and water to become available in other ecosystems? Thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. Have a great day.